The Emerald City in the great Pacific Northwest. Its world-famous Space Needle cuts its striking figure in the Seattle skyline, and just down below in the Seattle Center Arena, some of the best gymnasts in the world have gathered. USA Gymnastics and NBC Sports present the 1995 International Mixed Pairs. And hi, everybody, I'm Dan Hicks. We really think you're going to enjoy this unique format of gymnastics today. It consists of 3 rounds. 16 pairs of teams begin the competition. The top 8 teams from the first round advance to the second round, and the top 3 teams advance to the third and final gold medal round. Now, we have our own mixed pair of television analysts here today, Tim Daggett and Elfie Schlegel. We'll see some great gymnastics out there today, but we're also going to see some strategy.
Well, Dan, first of all, the athletes have to pick 3 events, and they have to ask themselves a question: what do I start with? And this is where the strategy comes into play. Do they go out with their big event, go for a big score, or do they save that apparatus for the third and final round and hope that that's enough to win?
And that's right, Elfie, but you also have to remember that sometimes your biggest scoring potential event can also be your riskiest event, like the women's balance beam or men's high bar. So you just can't go out there and do your very best. You also have to pick a consistent one.
Well, we'll be watching 3 American teams out there today, but specifically, who are some of the top U.S. athletes we should keep an eye on?
Well, we should definitely focus in on J.C. Phelps and Josh Stein. Now, J.C. was a member of the World Championship silver medal team. She has very little international experience, just 15 years old. Obviously, she'll use this event as a great stepping stone towards the Atlanta Olympics.
And, you know, her teammate Josh Stein, he may not be a household name at this point in time, but he's a very consistent athlete. He's been a member of 2 NCAA team champions from Stanford, and like I said, his best quality is he's a very consistent athlete.
Well, we are in a gymnast world. Tim Daggett, you stand, what, 5 feet 6 inches tall. Elfie Schlegel is all of 5 feet 3. It's not important what I stand because I'm not a gymnast, but also working with us today is Marianne Grabavoy, and she stands a sprite 5 feet 2 inches.
Well, Dan, make that 5 feet almost 2 inches, and I may be the smallest member of the broadcast team, but wait till you see the smallest and youngest athlete in today's competition. You know, every so often, a young gymnast comes along whose captivating qualities make her capable of stealing the show. Watch today for Mina Kim. She's barely tall enough to see over the balance beam. She stands just 4 feet 3 inches tall. She weighs all of 58 pounds, and she's just 13 years old. And she's had the good fortune of practicing the last 3 years in Steve Nuno's Oklahoma City gym with none other than world all-around champion Shannon Miller. Mina, what's it been like to train with Shannon Miller?
It's really neat to have a 2-time world champion and an Olympian in your gym to see every day who sets the highest standards in the world.
What is it that you admire about Shannon?
She's really quiet and she gives 100% every day.
Well, good luck today. You start off on the balance beam, your favorite event. It's a gutsy move. That's it from Mighty Mina. Dan, back to you.
All right, Marianne, thank you very much. Now, in addition to the rules we discussed at the top of the show, remember, only 2 United States pairs may advance to round 2, and only 1 U.S. team may advance to the final round.
And Dan, we actually have some mixed pairs, athletes from different countries competing as one team.
And Tim, a mixed pair actually won this competition back in 1989. Wendy Bruce from the United States and Li Jing from China.
So as J.C. Phelps gets ready for her uneven bar routine, let's take a look at some of the first round action, and we'll begin with Ukraine's Irina Bulakova on the floor.
And a really nice-looking athlete. She could definitely be a contender in this mixed pairs competition. She's been part of World Championship teams and Goodwill Games teams.
And her teammate today, also from Ukraine, Rustam Sharipov on the rings.
And he's one of the international veterans here. He shows what rings is all about. Got to be strong.
From Romania, Anna Maria Bican on the floor.
She was fantastic in the American Cup, and you can expect to see some hot stuff from this young lady today.
And her teammate, not from Romania, instead, he's from Italy, Marcello Barbieri on the vault.
This guy really likes to have fun out there. We're going to enjoy watching him today.
Now, Japan has a very formidable team. This is Mari Kasuge on the uneven bars.
19 years old, but national champion. She's been around an awful long time, packs in a lot of difficulty in all her routines.
And also the best Japan has to offer on the men's side is that man right there, Hikaru Tanaka on the parallel bars.
And this is one of the best events of the competition. This guy is all over this event.
From the United States, Mohini Bhardwaj on the uneven bars, her first round routine.
And only her second international competition, has great difficulty, a name to watch for.
Her teammate, Rob Kiefer from the United States here on the vault.
One of the major tricksters for USA men's gymnastics. He's got the difficulty. He just needs to be consistent today.
And remember, these are teams, so the scores you see are the combined scores. When we come back, we will see the U.S. team of Josh Stein and J.C. Phelps. Phelps, a part of that silver medal winning United States team, and now beginning with the uneven bars. That was just her first international competition in Germany, Alfie.
And Dan, I think she surprised herself and her coach, Mary Lee Tracy, but a very cool competitor. Now she's added some new skills, having a little bit of trouble with consistency in the last few months. Now, the uneven bar is a very strong event for JC. She has a couple of release skills planned. There's her first one. Look at the tremendous height on that Tkachev. Beautifully done. Second release of Jaeger, and she's down. She's had some trouble with that move in the warm-ups, and really unfortunate. It was a beautiful skill, but just couldn't hang on. Ripped off the bars.
She really performed flawlessly in Germany, hit all of her routines, and is just for the first time competing on the national team.
I think that's one of the toughest things to adjust to, is when you're having a string of great competitions and all of a sudden you're making mistakes. Ends it well with a beautiful dismount, double front. Just a very, very small step on the landing.
Beautiful in the air. Okay, let go a little early. Right. All right.
Got to stay over the top of it and land. Good finish. Right.
Coach Steve Elliott obviously just let go a little bit too early. No major technique wrong with this at all.
Yeah, Tim, I mean, take a look at the height. It's beautiful, well above the high bar, and she's on fingertip control. You can see just didn't even have a chance of hanging on. It's a lot of force coming down on that bar, and we'll take a closer look and see just how close she was. I thought she may have been able to save the move, but you can see right there, just fingertip control. She really just tapped the bars.
So now it's Josh Stein, her teammate, which will compete on the pommel horse. Knowing that J.C. Phelps has fallen, will that put extra pressure on him, Tim?
Well, you know, especially in the early rounds right here, Dan, he's going to need just about a perfect exercise for this team to even advance. So far, working extremely well. No struggles until right there. Of course, in gymnastics, the object is to make it look as effortless as possible. Good exercise by Josh Stein. Just that one little bit of a scrape on the horse and a little bit of a struggle halfway through the routine.
His score will be combined with his teammate, J.C. Phelps.
This is where it just went a little bit wrong for Josh. He should just fly up to that handstand. You notice the little bit of the stumble on the horse there. But I tell you, the thing that I'm so impressed with this athlete is he really deals with problems very well, like a veteran.
He is the team captain for Stanford's gymnastics team, 22 years old, an English and a pre-med major. He'll graduate in the fall of '96, and now awaiting his score to be combined with his 15-year-old teammate, J.C. Phelps.
The score for J.C. Phelps on an even bar.
9.1 for Phelps and a 9.4 for Josh Stein. And the combined score in round one, 18.5.
That's going to make it tough for this American team. Remember, only 2 American teams can advance to the second round.
Now our first look at 13-year-old Mina Kim, and she begins with her favorite apparatus, the beam, which she can barely peer over.
Dan, a pretty gutsy move on Mina's part, the balance beam, a very risky event to start the competition off on, but she is amazing on this apparatus.
She is listed at 13 years old. Now, in order to compete in the Olympics, a gymnast must be 15. She would not be 15 by Atlanta if this birth date was in fact her real one.
Actually, there's some controversy over that. Her coach, Steve Nuno, contends that when you're born in Korea, first major tumbling pass right here, though. Oh, right on. When you're born in Korea, you're actually a year old, so he's contending she actually will be eligible.
Well, stay tuned. I'm sure the story will continue to develop.
Nice little combination, but having a little bit of a problem right there. Almost flipped over the beam, but she covers up well, like a veteran. What I'm most impressed about is the maturity, her style, her dance ability. She has all the difficulty, but she's so poised up on that balance beam. Remember, just 4 inches wide. Great skills like that jump straddle full turn. That is extremely difficult. One last skill to perform, the dismount. Double back, nice and high. Great routine, nice exercise. I don't think Mina is too pleased. She knows it could have been a little bit better. She had that one small problem in the interior of her beam routine, but watch this tumbling skill. Combination of back handsprings and layout. She does 4 in a row. There's the layout. Square onto the balance beam. She even had some room to spare at the end there. Here's where she had some problems. Nice combination, working through the balance beam into a V, press up. And then right here, she almost lost it, almost flipped over. You can see she's working that hand around to pull herself back onto the beam.
I think she's stuck.
Well, let's find out if she indeed got stuck. Let's go down to Marianne Gravelbohr.
Mina was a little wild, but you hung on.
Yeah, on my million check, the skill before, my handstand was a little over, so I had to get back on my back and nose again.
Good enough to make it to the second round?
Let's see how Ryan does.
Good luck.
And here is 21-year-old Brian Yee, Mina Kim's teammate. He's a senior at the University of Minnesota.
Teammate of John Roethlisberger, the recent American Cup champion. Can't imagine starting out on pommel horse. Not too many athletes would choose this event. It typically is analogous to the women's balance beam, but his partner did it, so I guess he feels that it's okay for him as well. Small problem right there. He hits that pommel, but really keeps going quite well. Another little bit of a struggle right there. Brian has a nice line on the pommel horse. Just the dismount here. Hop to a handstand and a good exercise for Brian Yee.
Brian Yee in his final year of eligibility for the University of Minnesota. His teammate Mina Kim awaiting her score as well.
Brian does a number of travels all across the horse without using the pommels. Steps down to the middle, and he just brushes his legs right there, and of course they come apart, and of course that is a deduction.
So we'll await the score of Team Yee and Kim, and Mina Kim has been waiting for her score. They do not release her score until after both the members of the team have completed their routines. And the score for Mina, 9.775. Excellent score. Brian Yee, just a 9.3, and just over 19, the combined round one score for Brian Yee and Mina Kim. And they are the first round leaders. Kim and Brian Yee. The other American team to advance is Rob Kiefer and Mohini Bhardwaj. Remember, the top 8 teams advance after round one into round two. There's a list of the top 8. J.C. Phelps and Josh Stein had an unexpected early exit.
Introducing the new no-fee Ford Citibank card.
Held in the United States, the McDonald's American Cup was held, and that is where Romania's Ana Maria Bican finished second to the United States' Christy Powell, and she had one fine floor exercise.
Now, if you thought that wasn't enough, she has some great skills, but she ends it off with a triple twist in this floor exercise. Very few women in the world perform this, especially at the end of a floor exercise routine, and stands it up again.
There was the score, better than a 9.8 for 15-year-old Ana Maria Bican in the floor exercise of the recently held McDonald's American Cup, and here she is now on the vault.
Dan, we talked about strategy. This is her forte. We should see a big score on this event.
We were here all day yesterday. It was fun.
nice. Just a step on the landing. One of the toughest vaults we're seeing on the vaulting exercise today. 2 twists, a lot happening.
And there is the current leader, Mina Kim, awaiting her next routine on the uneven bars.
As Elfie stated, very difficult vault. She'll perform the same vault again. The only thing she has to improve on, of course, is the landing. Took that 1 step. Oh, great vault again, but still that carbon copy step there.
A repeat of vault 1, and as we mentioned, very difficult. 2 twists. There's not a whole lot of time to get this in before the landing. You need a tremendous amount of height off the horse. Look at this. 1, 2, looks for the landing, and had a little bit of over-rotation.
Remember, the women get 2 vaults, and they take the average of the 2 scores. And competing with Anna Maria Bicon is Marcello Barbieri from Italy, part of this mixed pairs team.
And Dan, I would say that this is his best event. Has a nice smile there for the cameraman. Like I said, he's a jokester out on the floor.
He looks like he's having some fun out there, Marcello.
Got to get serious now. The new code of points has really dictated that strength on this event is so important. And he is not lacking. Do that element one more time. It's called an inverted cross, and then press back up to the handstand. Just a little bit of swing in the rings. Dismount here. Double layout. And a little bit of a slide on the landing.
24-year-old Marcello Barbieri lives in Milan, Italy, and is teamed with the Romanian today, Anna Maria Bicon.
As I mentioned, I think this is his strongest event, and strength is the key. He's a very physical athlete. Nice double laid out somersault. Some of the athletes are doing a little bit more difficult dismounts, and of course that small little hop on the landing, that'll be a 1/10 of a point deduction.
You think they understand each other? There could be a little bit of a language barrier between Barbieri and Bicon, but they're through round 2. More gymnastics in a moment. Zemeskel.
No question, she was a crowd pleaser. Boy, could she tumble. She really had it all in her floor exercise routine.
Former world champion. But she had a teammate, didn't she, Tim?
That's right, Dan. Don't forget the men. Chris Waller, also a member of that championship team at the 1991 International Mixed Pairs.
Well, Frances Cecile Cockatow is waiting to go in this competition, and it seems she's been doing a lot of waiting for her partner. Let's go down to Marianne.
Jay, you literally just flew into town. What happened?
Well, we had a Iowa versus New Mexico dual meet last night, so I competed in that. And then this morning, our plane left at 7 o'clock and was delayed an hour, so I got here about half hour before the meet started and flew through warm-ups and just hoped I could do the best I could.
Did you even get to say hello to your partner, Cecile from France?
No, not until after, just when we sat down after we did our routines.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you very much.
And here is Jay's partner, who he's not too familiar with at all. But the first vault now in round 2 for 15-year-old Cecile Cockatow.
She is amazing on this event. I was going to say she's going for a sure score. What I mean by that is she wants to get to round 3. But remember, she has one more vault.
Very good landing.
I tell you, Elfie, I don't know if you can do this vault any better at all. Body position perfect, and that was beautiful. Great landing. Only criticism, maybe not quite enough height and not quite enough distance away from the horse.
The same as the first vault, and she has guaranteed herself a very high score. Beautiful vault.
That should be an impressive average of the 2 vaults for Cockatow.
The difficulty in this vault is it's a blind landing. Your Chenko style vault. She'll do a half turn in the air, but look at that body position. That's impressive. And she nails it. Actually, just a small hop on that second one.
He's been on our national team.
So Kakito will await her score while her partner, 20-year-old Jay Thornton, competes on the parallel bars.
It's a good event for Jay. About midway through, he'll show us a new trend in gymnastics. Actually starting to do skills similar to what is done on the high bar. Release skills right here. 1 and 3. No matter how well you do that, Dan, it hurts a little bit when you land. A little bit off balance, and oh boy, he shows it on the landing there.
From the University of Iowa, pre-med. And there is Kakito eyeing her partner.
Here's that release skill on the parallel bars I talked about. 1 3/4 flips, and ouch. That's smarts.
Well, his teammates call him Hoss because I guess for a gymnast, he's pretty big. 5 feet 9 1/2, 170 pounds.
Actually, he is big for a gymnast, Dan. This dismount turned into a big problem for him right there. Huge steps forward. That's going to hurt.
So maybe getting to this meet just a half hour before it began, maybe Jay Thornton paid the price. Not a good score on the P-bars and an excellent score on the vault for Cecile.
Well, tremendous vault for Cecile, but unfortunately in mixed pairs, it takes 2 to go on.
We'll continue with round 2 of this international mixed pairs when we come back to Seattle in a moment.
News Radio is coming to...
Welcome you back to the 1995 International Mixed Pairs Championship in Seattle at the Seattle Center Arena. Dan Hicks with Tim Daggett, Elfie Schlegel, and Marianne Grabavoy as we continue second round action here. And now our second look of the day at Ukraine's Irina Bulikova. We saw her on the floor exercise, did an excellent job, and now preparing for her 2 vaults.
Dan, she put in a great score on the floor exercise. Now this event, I'm surprised. It's been consistent for her, but it's not a high score. 8, so she has got to do this vault as well as she can, and she had some problems on the landing.
Also, Elfie, she tucks her knees a little bit. Legs should be totally straight, and they're bent there. That vault could actually be interpreted as a much lower scoring vault, a handspring tuck front.
Which is only out of a 9.7. She'll perform the same vault for her second one. Well, it was a little better in terms of power, but still some major form breaks. As you mentioned before in the first one, Tim, she tucked her knees, and I saw the same mistake in this second vault.
Technically, really not that strong here. She kind of misses what we call her block in gymnastics, the push or the repulsion off of the horse, and because of that, she has to bend her knees to rotate enough to make it around to her feet.
So she'll wait for the average of her 2 scores on the vault, and here one of the more experienced gymnasts in the world, Rustam Sharipov, 23 years old. He's Bulikova's teammate.
This is one of my favorite exercises in all of gymnastics right here. This guy is a god on parallel bars. That may sound like big, strong words, but I tell you, I marvel at everything he does. Watch it. It is non-stop from here on out. This is so risky, all of this stuff, and pow, right to the handstand. Oh, man, I tell you the problem, Dan and Elfie, the problem is he makes this look just too easy. That exercise is so difficult. Timing is so critical, so split second. And it looks like it's a walk in the park for him. Non-stop from this point on, as I said. Watch this beautiful front flip. All these skills have to keep moving, no stopping, no time for any adjustments at all. And then it's got to, bam, stop in that handstand.
Has been training in gymnastics.
Well, he did win the silver medal on this apparatus, Tim, at the 1994 World Championships. And their score is about as even as you can get for a team, but Rustam's score a little low in your eyes, Tim?
I definitely think so. Great exercise, has enough difficulty. Too bad, too low.
Well, coming up, our second look at mighty Mina Kim, chalking up for the uneven bars.
Dear Midas.
Now, though, of the youngest gymnast in today's competition, Marianne.
Well, Dan, how's this to make you feel old? Mina Kim won't graduate from high school to the year 2000. But before that, she does have her sights set on the Atlanta Olympic Games in 1996. She's extremely poised and graceful for someone at such a young age. But that may have to do with the fact that someone so very polished has gone before her.
Mina Kim is indeed good enough for Atlanta, and as we mentioned earlier in the show, old enough.
Well, Dan, Mina's focus right now is her routine. She had a near miss in the warm-ups on a release skill. It was a fairly scary moment. Could have taken her out of the competition. I'll point out the skill. We'll see if she can handle it in the competition. Here comes the Tkachev. Very difficult. No problems, and that is a long way down to the low bar.
She does look nothing bigger than a toothpick up there.
This is a riot here. It's like, whee! Look out. Double laid out somersault. She just flings her body in the air.
That's the advantage that she has, being her size.
Well, you'll notice that her coach, Steve Nuno, is not here. He is with her teammate, Shannon Miller, at the Pan American Games.
She has perfect form in her giant swings, but here's the skill coming up that she had some problems with in the warm-up. She just got by in the competition. Nice combination of giants with twisting action, and then here's the Tkachev. And you'll see she doesn't get a whole lot of height on this skill. Just squeaks by. That's close.
And in the warm-up, she hit the bar there and almost flipped over. As you said, it was potentially very dangerous.
And Tim, on this dismount, I mean, she looks like she's swinging men's high bar. That's the advantage. She doesn't have to break any body positions whatsoever. She has perfect form right here in the giant swings. And as you said, this does look like an awful lot of fun right here. Nails the dismount.
Look at me, Mom.
She became a U.S. citizen with her parents just last summer, and as she goes back to sit down and await her score, we'll see her partner, Brian.
Etiquette begins at breakfast.
Brian Yee to try to advance them to the gold medal round. Mina just completing her uneven bar routine. And there is Brian Yee set for the floor exercise as we continue the action in round two.
Welcome, Brian Yee.
Brian actually has a very difficult exercise.
Floor exercise today.
He'll start out with a skill called a double laid out somersault. 2 flips in the air. Body should be totally stretched. Very nicely done. Maybe just a little bit off balance on the landing. Multiple. Oh, a little bit off on that right there. Judges are being more and more strict about just the smallest, minute errors. Now, all he is thinking is dismount. Remember, I pointed out his first tumbling run was a double laid out somersault. He'll attempt the same thing. Endurance is the key here. Needs a lot of power. No. Yow.
21-year-old Brian Yee from the University of Minnesota. His partner, Mina Kim, hoping his floor exercise will give them enough to get into the gold medal round.
And that dismount we talked about just kind of ran out of gas here, it looked like. Need a tremendous amount of power at the end and just can't seem to pull that around. And that hurts when you land like that.
Now, while Brian Yee was performing, Mina Kim didn't exactly like the stumble.
Grimaces in pain.
Now she's all smiles.
Too tired.
And you can hear Brian Yee mentioning the fatigue factor, and his score reflects that. Excellent score for Mina Kim on the bars, and there is the total.
You know, one thing to keep in mind is the men's scores typically are lower. An excellent exercise for the men might only score a 9.45, whereas the women can get a 9.85. But this score right here, not a good one.
Not a good one indeed for Brian Yee. And for this team, there have been 3 other teams that have scored higher, so Mina Kim and Brian Yee have been eliminated. Now the Japan team, Mari Kasugi, 19 years old, and she's on the balance beam.
Dan, you talk about veterans. She's 19 years old, has been the national champion 6 times, a true veteran, and she has a lot of difficulty on each apparatus. So take a look at this beam routine. Opened up already with a very difficult mount. Here's her combination of tumbling scales. Solid.
Well, Alpha, you mentioned Japan's national champion 6 of the last 7 years. She is the most successful women gymnast that Japan has ever had.
And Dan, she's still hanging in there. That's what's so impressive. Obviously, the experience of her international competitions is paying off right here on the balance beam, a risky event for your second round of competition.
Oldest woman competitor by far today at 19 years old.
She has been absolutely amazing in this exercise. Nice variety of skills, including layouts and in combination, and then right there, a very solid front summy. She's had some problems on her dismount. Had problems on the uneven bars. See if she has enough right here. Double back, a little bit low. Just didn't have enough to get around.
And there's her teammate, also very experienced, Hikaru Tanaka, getting ready for the rings.
And their total for this round is 18.25.
Boy, you need a lot of height, especially at the end of the routine. She had good height right there, but it just died afterwards. You can see very low landing. That's a severe deduction.
So while we await the score of Mari Kasugi, we'll get a look again at her teammate, Hikaru Tanaka. And not only is Mari Kasugi the #1 women gymnast in Japan, this is the national champion for the men here.
This is a great exercise for him. Very strong athlete as well. Shows a lot of variety and very nice Maltese. One of the problems with the new code of points, the evaluation tool for gymnastics this time around, is unfortunately it encourages repetition of the same elements over and over again. But he does show us a nice variety. One will come right here. It's called a gutsogi. He does it with straight legs, very difficult. He'll do it again, tucked. Oh, he's picked up a little bit of swing. And yes, Dan, the name of this event is the still rings. They did the swinging rings, but that was a long time ago. Just the dismount, back on track, but small little step there.
Hikaru Tanaka, 22 years old, also a member of the 6th place team from Japan at the recent World Team Championships.
You know, this is great stuff, though. Look at this. Beautiful skill there, done with straight legs. Does it one more time, and this is where it kind of goes wrong. Picks up some swing right there and really gets going there.
And the score for Tanaka, just a 9.3, reflected some of the swinging movement in his still rings routine, and the total for Team Japan. And to this point in the second round, that is the 3rd best score. So that knocks out the duo of Jay Thornton of the United States and France's Cecile Kakato. Coming up, the last American team with a chance to make the gold medal round, Mohini Bhardwaj and Rob Kiefer. To Barcelona, Shannon Miller captured the silver in the all-around at the Olympics. One of 5 medals she captured, but before that, she won the mixed pairs championship, teaming with Scott Keswick. And trying to follow in Shannon's footsteps, Mina Kim did not make it to the finals of today's round, but had an excellent competition. So if an American team is to advance to the gold medal round, it'll be that team of Mohini Bhardwaj and Rob Kiefer. Now they need an 18.838 to advance.
Now that we've talked about this competition being all about strategy, I'm a little surprised Mohini chose the balance beam. She had an excellent uneven bars routine. Thought maybe she would have chosen the floor exercise, but she is confident with this exercise. Tumbling series, back handspring layout, second layout, and she is solid. Remember, this is only her second international competition. Interesting skill right here, side summy. Beautiful.
She may not be a familiar name, but she's trained at the same gym that produced Olympians Brandy Johnson and Wendy Bruce.
Dan, she is right on. And remember, the key here is to be clean and stay on.
Go, just the dismount.
Wow, nice exercise. Talk about confidence.
Good job, good job, good job.
Coach Ray Nat, some words of encouragement there for Mohini.
And if you're wondering about her name, her father is Indian, her mother is Russian, and her name means illusion in Indian. But this very real beam routine for Mohini.
A little bit of an illusion how any athlete can do that on just 4 inches of balance beam.
So with the excellent routine from Mohini Bhardwaj on the beam, she'll now await the performance of Rob Kiefer. Now, we've mentioned that this squad needs 18.838 to advance to the gold medal round, and with Mohini's routine, that puts them well within reach.
Certainly does, and Rob Kiefer has one of the most difficult floor exercise routines being done in the world today. He's just got to get through it without a mistake. This mount is amazing. He'll do a double laid out somersault with a full twist. Right there, full twist. Oh. It's so hard. I can't explain to you how hard that is. A little bit awkward looking on that landing, but... And also a little bit of a stumble there. But as I stated, this routine has so much difficulty. It really helps a tremendous amount in his final score. Lands a big dismount. Remember earlier we saw Brian Yee perform a double laid out somersault. Lands short. Need a lot of endurance. Same dismount right here. Oh, once again. Not enough juice at the end. Now I don't know, Dan. Now I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Well, we still don't know. Bhardwaj's score. We'll get them in just a moment, both of them.
Second pass right here. Very tricky. 3 elements in a row. And as I said, just a little bit awkward looking on the landing. Brian Yee couldn't get it around, and neither could Rob Kiefer this afternoon. Very difficult at the end. You're so tired. And just not enough rotation. Hands go down and a mandatory deduction.
Remember, this team needs an 18.838 combined to get to the final round, and they'll surpass that. Because the combined score there better, 18.975. So Bhardwaj and Kiefer are into the gold medal round, the lone Americans to make it. And they will have a cheering section, tiny as it may be, but Mina Kim will be rooting on her United States teammates as they make their way into the gold medal round. Here are the standings after round 2. Leading the way, Anna Maria Bakan of Romania, along with Marcello Barbieri of Italy. The Ukrainian team of Irina Bulikova and Rustam Sharipov are second, followed by the Americans Bahardwaj and Kiefer. We'll be right back. Kiefer and Bahardwaj finished third. They will go first, followed by the second place team of the Ukrainians, Irina Bulikova and Rustam Sharipov, and Anna Maria Bakan and Marcello Barbieri will go third. Once again, it'll be Mohini Bahardwaj along with Rob Kiefer. They will begin this final round competition. They got to go last during the last round. Is there an advantage or disadvantage to this?
Well, I'd say that it might be an actual disadvantage because, especially for Rob Kiefer, remember I said he made the error at the end because of an endurance problem. Now he's got to go right away.
And the same is for Mohini Bahardwaj. I mean, floor exercise, a minute and a half of dancing and tumbling. It's tough. That's an out of bounds and an automatic 10th point deduction. See Mohini taking an extra breath for her final tumbling pass. This is what it all comes down to. You need every bit of strength right here and doesn't have enough.
Mohini Bahardwaj from Cincinnati, Ohio.
16 years old.
At the chest.
And her team, along with Rob Kiefer, trailing, remember, by .125, and she lost a 10th by going out of bounds.
Out of bounds on the first tumbling pass, but look at the height over rotation. Really, really nice. Very powerful, but lost it all on the final tumbling pass after a minute 30 seconds. You're awfully tired at the end of the routine, and this is a difficult skill. 2.5 twists blind and just didn't have enough to stand it up.
Major deduction for this USA team. That's going to make it very tough and put even more pressure on Rob Kiefer.
And for his final apparatus, it'll be on the high bar.
Well, remember, I've stated it before, Rob certainly has the difficulty he needs in all of his exercises. His problem in the past has been consistency.
Well, he'll have to be very consistent here after watching his partner not only lose a 10th going out of bounds, but fall at the end of her floor exercise.
Little bit of a struggle right there. But here's his biggest challenge. This skill is called a Kovacs. Way in the air.
Bobby has 30 seconds to remount, finishes that.
You hear the squeal of the bar there. You know, Dan, it looked like he could have held on to me on that one. I don't know. It was definitely far.
Kovacs is one of the most difficult elements on high bar.
But by falling, he'll lose a half point, and he'll have 30 seconds to remount the apparatus.
Actually, Rob's coach here, Mike Williams, a teammate of his. See if Rob Kiefer can get back on track, but this is basically it for the American team. 2 major falls, both athletes. This should be for pride at this point in time. His dismount. A little bit early on the tap. Good dismount, but with the big fall, as I said, this American team is basically gone.
Well, there were a lot of folks who didn't think that Rob Kiefer and Mohini Bahardwaj had the right stuff to make it even to this final medal round, but They did, but a disappointing way to finish.
And the major disappointment right there. Oh, just can't hold on. But I don't get it, Dan. It looks like both hands are on the bar. We have a much better view right here. Very difficult skill, though. And I don't know. I can't really tell you. I think he should have held on. That's disappointing.
And the scores reflect the performances for Bahardwaj and Kiefer, almost identical. And so the combined score is 17.675. They have the lead, but they are the first team in the final round to compete. 1993 international mixed pairs. Who could forget Vitaly Sherbo? Remember him in the Olympics, the most decorated gymnast ever, winning 7 medals in Barcelona. And he teamed with his partner Yelena Piskun to win in Atlanta 2 years ago. And it indeed is an impressive group of names in the international mixed pairs winning list. The reigning national champion Dominique Dawes teaming with John Roethlisberger last year, and now this Ukrainian team of Rustam Sharipov and Irina Bulakova hoping to add their names to that impressive list. And here is Irina on the uneven bars.
And she has saved the best for last. She has sky-high release skills. Here comes her first one. Take a look at this Jaeger. Whoa. Super, super high, but again, fingertip control. Everybody seems to be having problems on the bar events.
Well, she wears Michael Jordan's number 23, but I don't think that's the kind of rarefied air you look for in gymnastics.
Well, that kind of air costs 5/10 of a point, Dan.
And certainly she can't afford another mistake. I mean, the pressure now is on her teammate, Sharipov. She still has another release skill planned in this routine. It's not over yet. Nice gainer, no problems there. Really a shame with the fall, ended the routine very strongly with that dismount, but again, a 5/10 deduction, that's severe. Take a look at this release skill. Nice extension here, front giant into the Jaeger. Look how high she is, but fingertip control just couldn't hang on. Get a little closer look at the hand action here. You'll see just how close she was. Just rips right off the bar. I mean, she was on the bar like Rob Kiefer, his release skill on the high bar, but just not enough to stay on.
Bulakova's teammate is Rustam Sharipov. He'll be next, but let's go back down to Marianne.
Thank you, Dan. Rob, a disappointing finish on the high bar. What happened out there?
Well, I just came off floor. I was in the last event of the whole rotation of the floor, and I was pretty winded and tired, and it kind of affected me a little bit, but I think I've made a good performance otherwise.
Mohini, only your second international competition, and you guys come away with the medal. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, this is only my second one, and it was fun competing in it.
Did you think you could medal here?
Well, I didn't really expect it, but, you know, anything can happen.
Congratulations.
So now it's Rustam Sharipov's turn. A very impressive gymnastics resume, one of the most experienced men's gymnasts in the world, and he takes to the high bar.
And that word high is certainly analogous to what we'll be seeing here. We'll see some high flying release moves. In addition, he's also very elegant gymnast. He'll show us some moves popularized by Mitch Gaylord. Watch this. He'll flip over the bar. Oh, amazing. And check this out. Nobody does it better. Has a couple requirements remaining. Right there, a dorsal grip. And of course, you have to have the big dismount. 3 flips. 1, 2. Just a big step forward.
There's his partner, Bulikova. They need just a 17.665 to surpass the team of Bhardwaj and Kiefer, and it appears they have done that.
I would say so, Dan. Now, check this out here. He actually flips completely over the bar, 1.5 flips. And then his dismount here. Watch this. Look at the height. Way above the bars, 3 flips, just a little bit early on the kick out, and takes that step forward. That'll be at least 2/10 of a point.
So the scores for Team Ukraine, the fall by Bulikova reflected in the 9.1, but Sharipov picks up the 9.4, and the overall score of 18.5 moves them into first place. Romania's Anna Maria Bacan when we come back. Barbieri getting ready for his final event. He'll be on the parallel bars, and he can only sit at this point and watch his partner from Romania, Anna Maria Bacan. And they need a combined score of 18.387 to win the meet, and that is certainly within their reach. Basically, they just hit the routines, and they should become the champions.
Exactly right, Dan. You just need to hit. The door is wide open. The gold is there for the taking, and Romanian gymnasts in the past, their consistency is really what is key, and I don't imagine there'll be a mistake from Anna Maria on one of her strongest events. First release skill. Second release coming up. She's on. And just the dismount. Double layout. Nails it. Looks like a repeat performance from the American Cup.
Just turned 15 years old, Anna Maria Bacan of Romania, and with that kind of routine should make things a little bit less pressurized for her partner, Marcello Barbieri.
You know, she was looking down at her hands like something was wrong, but frankly, I didn't see too much wrong with that exercise. Every time I watch the Romanians, you just sit back and you marvel at how consistent they can be doing some of the most difficult elements being done.
Consistency was certainly her key throughout the entire competition. Tim, beautiful bar exercise, and as you said, absolutely no problems at all. Look at the form on her dismount. Generates a lot of speed to get that important height in a double layout dismount, but she doesn't just do it, she nails it.
Her hometown, Anesti, Romania, same as Nadia Comaneci, the most famous of Romanian gymnasts, but now it's Marcello Barbieri's turn. The scores, remember, not posted for the women until after the male partner has completed his routine, and now it's up to Barbieri. I would say there's not near as much pressure with the great routine turned in by Bacan.
And not just on the uneven bars, all day long. Really don't want to slight Marcello here, but Bacan has somewhat carried him throughout the competition. Marcello has what I would call a punishing exercise. He'll do a couple of those release skills. First one coming right here. Ow. And it's like I haven't done enough damage. Gonna smack my arms one more time. This guy needs a little better choreography, I would say. Here's the dismount. Coming up here, double back. Huge stumble. I don't know, he was dreaming about that gold medal a little bit too soon, maybe.
Marcello just hung on. He did not take a seat after he dismounted the P-bars, but will it be enough?
Well, you know, because of the fantastic exercise by Bacan all day long today, I think he probably is going to be in there.
While we're waiting for the scores, we'd like to introduce another wrestling gymnastics exhibition.
And you can see Marcello still smarting a little bit from his routine on the bars, Tim.
You can see right here, no matter how well he does this element, it's going to hurt a little bit. Just the nature of the skill. did it very well, actually. But where it went wrong was on the dismount. As I said, probably thinking about winning this championships a little bit too soon, because this is a very easy dismount relative to what's being performed by the top gymnast. Now just a double back somersault in the tuck position, holds on too long, and it's like almost goodbye. 3 steps.
Oh, and he holds.
Oh, baby. Good effort to stay on his feet, though.
Spaghetti. Well, we would provide a little Parmesan for Marcello if we had it. It's been a long day of gymnastics. Obviously, very hungry at this point.
I guess so.
And the scores, 9.075 and the 9.750. That will clinch it for this team from Italy and Romania. And for just the second time in the history of this event, a team featuring 2 competitors from different countries wins the championship. We'll be right back to Seattle to wrap up the final results in a moment.
Your burden is great, but your shoulders.
This is NBC Sports World.
And a look at the final standings. Anna Maria Bacana and Marcello Barbieri win it. Less than a half-point behind the team from Ukraine, Bulikova and Sharipov, and finishing in third, impressively, Mohini Bhardwaj and Rob Kiefer. The rest of the United States finishers included Jay Thornton of the United States. He teamed for 5th place, Kim and Yi 7th, and Phelps and Stein in 9th.
This event was about new faces, building experience and confidence as we head towards an important Olympic year. And after all, we all saw what it did for Shannon Miller's career.
That's right. In the final push towards the Olympic, now is the time for these new faces to make their mark in gymnastics.
Well, one team emerged today, a Romanian and an Italian. For Tim Daggett, Elfie Schlegel, and Marianne Grabavoy, I'm Dan Hicks saying so long from Seattle and the 1995 International Mixed Pairs.